Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to See Your Soul 3 Revolution with me, Lise. This is going to be a general collective message for the collective. You wanted a self-read, you got it, guys. That's what we're doing. So, the name of this spread, I'm actually using a deck that I don't take out too often, but for some reason, this deck wanted to be known, wanted to be seen, wanted to be used. So we're using it today. And the name of this spread is called the Triage en Croix. It translates to the cross spread, and it is a tarot spread that was developed in France. Comes highly recommended for another deck, and it's equivalent to the Celtic cross, but it takes 5 cards. So how it works is we're going to dive in, and we're going to see, because the first card's going to represent you. The second card's going to announce any obstacles that are hindering you. The third card is going to give you wise advice that should be taken into consideration. The fourth card will explain what happens if that advice is neglected. And the fifth card is going to denote the final outcome of the situation. Let's get into it, guys. Show me, Spirit, for the collective. The first card 1 on the cross spread, representing them. What is that? Right now you have the 5 of Wands, which is rivalry. Now this is internal and external conflict. But since this is a self-read, well, we'll see how it goes. I'm getting a lot of intuitive hits, but let's see where this takes us, okay? Card 2 is going to announce any obstacles that are hindering. Well, okay. Card 3 give the advice that needs to be taken into consideration. Okay. So card 2 is the 4 of Pentacles. What the obstacle that's in your way is some kind of miserly, greed. The wise advice that should be taken into consideration is justice. I'm getting I got Gemini vibes, I got Scorpio vibes, I have Pisces vibes. On the table, I have Sagittarius, Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, and Libra here. But I'm feeling other vibes, other energy. Okay, the fourth card is going to explain what will happen if the advice from number 3 is neglected. What will happen if the advice is neglected, Spirit, for the collective? Judgment. Wow. And the fifth card, the final outcome to this whole situation. The final outcome. The final outcome to this whole situation. 9 of Swords, anxiety. Wow. 7 of Swords, bottom of the deck, which is treachery, right? Okay, you have 2 major arcanas in this spread. So I wanted to share something with you that I read. Maybe to give you a better idea of what the major arcanas are. So there's only 22 major arcanas in any deck, right? It's like divine intervention, but it also can be looked at. They're known as the biggest secrets. These big secrets are what you are not aware of or what you are ignoring. These cards are red flags when they appear in a reading. Take their message seriously. When several major arcanas appear, you should address the situation. The major arcana will feature reverse meanings if they're in reverse. But yeah, there's that. So let's get into this right here. We're going to read from the book, guys, because I don't feel like an intuitive read is going to cut it fully today. I think that it could, but let's read from the book. Your overall energy, what this read is about, yes, it's about you, but there's some sort of treachery. 7 of Swords is my liar, cheat, thief card, right? Now, this could be you lying to yourself, you fooling yourself, but let's see what this has to say. Let's read from the book. Okay. 7 of Swords, the overall energy. No, I will not trust in anyone anymore. Everyone that I've trusted has lied and betrayed me. Enough is enough. A petrified garden princess and several manipulative and conning orchid flowers and baby dragons who were once kind and gentle, stand together in the middle of a dark and isolated greenhouse, ready to deceive her. The princess appears to be lost and unable to walk back to her castle. The orchids and dragons, who are intruders in her presence, are nothing more than really bad company. They do nothing but inflict doubt and fear into the princess's head, leaving her vulnerable and unable to move forward. Now that the orchids and dragons have the princess both intimidated and in their trap, they will unleash their secret agenda and ill intentions towards making her feel helpless. In a reading, this card represents enemies and betrayals of all kinds. Something of a sentimental or physical value is being stolen from you. You may have to keep an eye out on those around you. Take into consideration that not everyone is trustworthy. You are being or bound to become a victim of backstabbing by someone close to you. Caution is deeply advised. You may need to use harmless tricks to get what you want. That's the overall energy. Now, the first card, which is about you, the consultant, is the Five of Wands, rivalry. Let's see what that says. Five of Wands. I advise you that a simple and friendly debate doesn't hurt me or anyone else competing with me, unless I allow it, of course. Keyword, rivalry. A mischievous prehistoric princess has traveled in time from the Stone Age into our modern era and has made a spoiled decision that this is where she wants to stay. Her two dinosaur guardian friends and caretakers have traveled from their Stone Age era to our modern time as well to take their princess back to take the princess back to where she belongs. The princess likes it here so much that she has refused to go back to her world. The dinosaurs strongly and forcefully debate whether to leave her where she wants to stay or take her back where she truly belongs. In a reading, this card represents a process of debate. You're debating for something that you want very badly or a change that you want to make in your life for the greater good. Remember, by engaging in a competition, you are not fighting, nor should you be hurting other people or yourself. Put your skills to the test in order to obtain all that you've been longing for with a clean strategy and with a clear mind. This also can talk about inner conflict and external conflict. It feels important to say that as well. That's what we have. That's you. Now, the obstacle that's hindering you is the Four of Pentacles, greed. Let's dive into that. This is the obstacle that's hindering you. At one point, just like you, I was holding on to something way too tight. Now you have to learn to let it go before it consumes you. Greed. A swamp princess has found a rare frog swimming within a lagoon outside her kingdom. She has never in her life seen something so beautiful, and she knows and feels the absolute value of the frog she clutches with her bare arm. Greed has taken over, and she knows very well that others will fight with her to have this prize in their possession. Each minute she has grown overly attached to this creature, and she can't bear to let it go. So instead, this material possession will stay with her forever, till her death or until the end of time. In a reading, this card represents being overly attached to material things or a person. You are becoming obsessed, and this is making you insecure and selfish. You don't care about anyone's necessities but your own. You're hoarding material things that are irrelevant, and you are becoming stingy with money. You don't understand what losing is. This deck is really direct, huh? We all go through stuff, right? And this is your obstacle, right? It's what's hindering you is this. Now, the next card is going to give you the advice that you really should take into consideration, and that is Justice, number 11, but it's a major arcana for Libra. Okay, let's get to that. Justice. Equality. Intolerance is not an issue. You see, we are both different in our own right, but we've learned to come to terms and be fair with one another. Equality. Could these two witches, whose attributes are so different and so distinct, get along, even when they collaborate with one another in everyday activities? As a matter of fact, they sure can. The Green Witch is the type of creature that sets out on ventures on her own. Her word is and will be the last word. She shows no remorse and does not feel sorry for anyone. All eyes and the spotlight have to be on her, always. The Fair Witch is a total opposite of the Green Witch. The Fair Witch is the type of creature that likes to mingle with people and enjoys having them around her. She hears everyone, regardless of what they have to say. Most of the time, she puts other people before herself. The Fair Witch likes to see both sides of the problem, and she has lots of empathy for those around her. Even though these two witches know that they are very different from one another and their personas may clash, they've made a truce and have come to a decision whereby they will accept each other's way of being. In a reading, this card advises that there will come a day when you will have to accept situations and people for what and who they are. You will have to change your way of being. You will have to change your way of being, and even though you may not change someone else's way of being, you will change yourself in order to keep peace around you. Also, you will learn how to play fair and show equality to others. It is most important that you be fair and equal to yourself as well. This more than anything. So it's justice for those around you situation, but it's justice for yourself. Now, I think it's a beautiful thing that the Fair Witch listens to everyone, right? But at her own detriment too. She just listens because she has an overabundance of empathy, whereas the Green Witch is a little bit more on the selfish side. Well, what lies in between of both of those is equality. It's accepting each other for who they are, as they are, right? But finding the middle ground as well. Her being looking at things a little less selfishly, and her looking at things a little more selflessly selfish to equal something out. And that was the advice. Now, this card is going to explain what happens if the advice is neglected. Judgment. This is Scorpio and Aries card. Judgment. Opportunity. Is that what it says? Opportunity. So this is what's going to happen if the advice is neglected. If justice is neglected, if justice is neglected, judgment is coming. Judgment. Look at me. You're giving a second chance to rebuild yourself and to cherish what you have around you. Use this second chance that I give you with grace. Keyword, opportunity. The island creatures before you were not always as vibrant and healthy as they now appear. They were malnourished and neglected, and were soon in the process of becoming extinct. The water and air which they swam in and flew was filthy and contaminated with unhealthy elements. This majestic and mystical Hawaiian spirit descended from the heavens to assist these creatures and their environment. She looked around and was disgusted how people could make a mess of things and walk away without holding compassion for their living creatures who also served a purpose in life and on this earth. The Hawaiian spirit sent a message to the water and air deities about the conditions of their empire. The water and air deities sent her the tools she needed to clean up the mess and offer the nourishment needed for the island creatures. Thankfully, after a long and stressful day, the island went back to its natural condition, and so did the creatures. Receiving a new chance, the creatures became forever grateful. Now those who trespass without consideration are punished without questions asked. Upright. In a reading, this card indicates that after all your losses, you are granted one chance to make up for whatever it is you lost or gave up. Of course, like anything, and depending on the circumstances, one must wait and earn this second chance. Second chances are given to those who truly deserve them or have fallen victim to an unjust ordeal. When you are given a chance, you must know when and where to apply it. When granted a second opportunity, it is a magnificent time to renew yourself. Although this card can denote a calling, you are being called to something that you will want to do. This is something that you've never even thought about before. So Judgment also, so it can be looked at as forgiveness and it can be looked at as starting over. So it really depends. So if you neglect the Justice, you're going to get Judgment. And the final outcome, Nine of Swords. I really don't like this. It's anxiety, but the Nine of Swords can also be seen as excitement too. It just depends. So we're going to see from the book to see what it's calling on. Okay. There we go. The final outcome. Oh my goodness, time is running out. What should I do? Somebody please help me. Oh no, I'm going mad. Keyword, anxiety. A beautiful princess is going through a state of mortifying distress that is leaving her restless every night. She has too much going on in her mind, and it's leaving her exhausted, worried, and unable to concentrate on important tasks in her life. She can't handle all this stress, and it's making her physically ill. The princess has tried to find help to relax her mind, but nothing has worked for her. The masquerade is the only thing that helps her to remain calm and to ease her busy mind. But again, that mask does nothing for her. What's worse is that she doesn't even know where all the stress is coming from. In a reading, this card represents a period of distress and nervous breakdowns. With fears taking over, you're feeling worried and restless. Blowing everything out of proportion, you are causing too much drama over nothing and hurting everyone around you. Your guilty conscience is taking control, and you may be feeling overly responsible for something. Someone is spilling their problems onto you, and you are becoming very stressed and anxious. Reggie, stop. You can come in a little bit, not right now. Let's clarify a little bit here, guys. I don't want to leave you like this. Why the Nine of Swords? What can the collective do to for their self to be out of the Nine of Swords? Abundance, One of Pentacles. It's like starting something over. And there's Queen of Cups, the intuition. You need to dive into your own self. Now, this is the Queen of Creativity, the Queen of Compassion, the Queen of Empathy, the Queen of Emotional Intelligence, but it's a very nurturing queen, right? And then this is the Ace of Pentacles. So it might be saying to for some of you, maybe art or something new. It's like creating something new for some kind of creating something or loving in that way that I just explained and starting over in a new way. On earth, tangible, practical, here and now, using the intuition to create your own abundance on earth, right? And yes, you can do it. I'm hearing, how do I do that? You have look, you got it right here. You got everything that you need. You have everything that you need to co-create with spirit and with the universe, the magician, manifest it. But you need to manifest, some of you will be manifesting a decision too. And that's more of something where your spirit is leading you to make a decision. You don't know which way to go. It's something like that. Something about inventiveness too. Guys, this was a very different read. I really hope that it made sense. And please let me know down below if this reading made sense to you, if it resonated, if it helped. What else do we have? Final thoughts. Rivalry came back out again. Okay. You got the Six of Cups at the bottom, which talks about past life connections, talks about soul tie connections, talks about friendships, you know, people that like your soul tribe, homies. It's like that. But it's also the inner child of yourself too, right? So if you got the rivalry, it's almost like you need to servitude too, because Virgo's here with the Knight of Pentacles, servitude, but it's be in service slowly and steadily. It's like you need to kind of, with the rivalry, remember it said you might need to use good tricks to get through this, slow and steady, but you'll be doing it in Hierophant mode, which the Hierophant is like in a religious term, the way I can explain it would be like a pope, right? It's somebody with high, it's like that. But in spirituality, it would be like Buddha, right? It's somebody with high morals, high values, higher consciousness. You've been through so much, so you can understand life at its core from the details to the seeing it from a detached space. It has to do with doing what's right, even if what is right doesn't feel good. It's also letting others choose their path. I don't know why I'm getting this, but I am. It's like letting others choose their path, even though like you're walking down the road with somebody and all of a sudden there's two paths and you both know you got to go to the left. But for some reason, the person you're with wants to go to the right. Well, you haven't been down that road, but you can tell by how the road looks and the way that the trees are, and you've been in the woods enough to know where that road's going to lead. It's going to be harder. You're going to get stuck. It's not that paved, but you're not going to tell that person what to do. You'll give them some advice, but you have to let them make their own decision because you're going to keep going on your path. We'll catch up, but it's going to take you a few years or a few days longer. It's something like that. It's seeing something from a detached space. It's a very spiritual card, but it is enlightenment is what it is. But to be slow and steady with something, it's like the rivalry, but to be slow and steady, to still serve, it's just being slow and steady in increments. I feel like that brought more depth in for you guys, and I feel better at closing out this read now. Please hit that like button, comment, share, subscribe, but also let me know if this reading resonated for you, okay? And that's for the self-read for today, guys, for March 11th through Monday, March 11th through Sunday, March 17th. Okay, for the self-read. All right, and I'll be back to do another one in a little bit on a different subject. All right, please hit that like button, comment, share, subscribe, and let me know if this reading resonates. Bye, guys. Love you.